fake stuff and said a lot of stuff that, you know, a person that you claim that you cool with, you would never say. So that was my big issue with him. You know, I just know, you know, character take you a long way, and I just don't agree with the character, you know what I mean, actions that he took.
The problem is Terence Crawford now is really only going to want to fight for big money, and there's only certain fights that can generate that kind of money.
Terence Crawford lashed out at Floyd Mayweather after sparring footage between them leaked, saying he felt disrespected by Floyd's actions. Crawford explained he expected more from someone who claimed to be cool with him. He voiced frustration that private training moments were made public, insisting that such behavior should not come from a fellow champion.
I had disliked a lot of things that he was saying, you know, and how he was acting, being that, you know, me, I'm a real individual. I just felt like, you know, we was all cool at one point in time. And, you know, when the Errol Spence fight was getting mentioned and talked about and, you know, signed, you know, I just felt like he just did a lot of fake stuff and said a lot of stuff that, you know, a person that you claim that you cool with, you would never say. So that was my big issue with him. You know, I just know, you know, character take you a long way, and I just don't agree with the character, you know what I mean, actions that.
Eddie Hearn's suggestion that Crawford should retire reflects the split in the boxing community. On one side, Hearn admires Crawford's spotless legacy, multiple divisions conquered, elite opponents defeated, and his status among the all-time greats secured. Retiring at this point would protect his image forever, like other legendary champions. On the other side, Hearn acknowledges the huge financial opportunities available in today's boxing climate, especially with Saudi investment in blockbuster crossover events. Crawford could earn record-breaking purses even in fights that don't carry much legacy weight. Hearn sees this balance between legacy and money as the toughest decision Crawford will face.
Sorry?
Should Crawford retire?
Do you know what? Someone said the other day, and it's very true because I actually said it about Usyk. We've got a real tendency, haven't we, to kind of try and retire people off. Do you know what I mean? Like I said with Usyk, I think now he should retire. And everyone's like, why do you want him to retire? It's like, I just think it's a great way to go out. I actually also think that Crawford could move down and win a world title at 160. And that would make him, what, a six division champ? 5, 35, 40, 47, 54, 6 division champion. But the problem is Terence Crawford now is really only going to want to fight for big money, and there's only certain fights that can generate that kind of money. So Shakur, he was obviously very close to him, seemed to say, so maybe.
Floyd Scoffield believes Crawford should step away while on top. In his eyes, Crawford has already achieved everything: pound-for-pound dominance, multi-division titles, and victories over the best of his era. Scoffield isn't doubting his greatness but warns that continuing could add unnecessary risk. If Crawford does fight again, Scoffield argues it should only be against rising stars like Virgil Ortiz or Frank Martin, testing him against the new generation. Still, Scoffield shows respect, saying Crawford has nothing left to prove and his flawless legacy would be best preserved by retiring at his peak.
I feel like Crawford, you know, he could retire if he wants. I feel like if he does get another fight, I would love to see him in there with Virgil or Duran. I feel like those are both great fights, but those are fights we just gotta see. We just gotta see those fights before. I feel like those are the only 2 fights I would entertain.
Not a rematch, maybe a rematch with Crawford and Canelo?
I feel like it wasn't close enough. It wasn't close enough.
Valid?
If it was close, maybe, but it just was like, it wasn't close.
The fantasy matchup of Prime Mayweather versus Prime Crawford still fuels endless debates. Fans highlight Floyd's defensive genius and ring IQ against Crawford's adaptability and ruthless finishing ability. But the truth is, Mayweather is long past his prime, with diminished reflexes and stamina. Any present-day fight would be spectacle, not a real test. The Prime versus Prime scenario will likely remain just that, an unfulfilled dream.
So yeah, everybody, so this is a good question that the ring put out. So Terence Crawford versus Floyd Mayweather, a fantasy fight that will never happen. Now, this is a really good question. Who will win between these two? Me personally, if this was old Floyd Mayweather, and well, I'm going to say pretty boy Floyd, I'm talking about like the younger version of Floyd Mayweather wins. You're talking probably prime Floyd Mayweather versus prime Terence Crawford. You could see Floyd Mayweather beating Terence Crawford, but you're talking about money Floyd versus Terence Crawford. I see Terence Crawford stopping him in the later rounds due to Floyd Mayweather's passive style and Philly shell. I believe he'll melt. Terence Crawford would just break him, I think. People forget what Manny Pacquiao was able to do on Floyd Mayweather, have success with him certain parts of the fight, and people just need to see, Floyd Mayweather's, I would say, fights, later down the years. I think Crawford would just be able to break that defense. I don't know. The thing is about Terence Crawford, he has a very, very awkward style, very awkward foot movement, footwork. This is the thing. A lot of people were thinking, "Oh, nobody beats Floyd." Or if you try to compare somebody else, no, this man will beat Floyd. Floyd would beat everybody. I don't think it's a case of Terence Crawford, everybody. I think Terence Crawford would have been the man to actually beat Floyd. Honestly, for what he did to Canelo Alvarez, he beat a 168 Canelo Alvarez. 168 Canelo Alvarez.
Analysts caution that statistics alone don't settle the debate. Floyd's 50-0 record and decades of dominance are historic, but Crawford has gone further by becoming undisputed in multiple divisions, something Floyd never achieved. The comparisons are tricky because their careers happened in different eras with different contexts. Floyd's resume boasts global names and blockbuster pay-per-views, while Crawford's record is built on decisive, dominant wins. Analysts conclude that greatness is more than numbers, it depends on context, timing, and style.
Mayweather versus Terence Crawford is the topic of this video, and someone posted this: number of world champion fighters beaten, Floyd with 23, Terence with only 11. But my response to this is, being more accomplished does not mean you're better than someone. By example, Canelo has 18 former world champions beaten, Terence has 11, so you could argue that Canelo's more accomplished. Meanwhile, Terence just whooped them over the course of 12 rounds over the weekend. We all saw it. Plus, more accomplished fighters lose to lesser accomplished fighters all the time, so that's a bad argument. Let's talk skill for skill. Terence Crawford has knockout power in both hands. He can switch stances. He's not a stationary target. He has good footwork. He knows how to counterpunch. He knows how to fight on the outside and on the inside. He can make it dirty. He knows how to box and he knows how to fight. There's a difference. Guys like Shakur Stevenson, for example, they know how to box. When it comes to actually getting down and dirty, the jury is still out on one Shakur Stevenson, just by example. Terence Crawford, I think, if you look at the names on Floyd's list here, Manny Pacquiao, Canelo, Marcos Maidana, Cotto, and the list goes on and on, I think Terence Crawford has a shot at beating all those guys. I don't think anybody on that list jumps off the page and goes, "Oh my God, I think he smokes Terence Crawford." You can't say that about anybody on any of these guys' lists and names here. So yeah, that's my take on this, man. Maybe the only guy is Gennady Golovkin. I could see Gennady Golovkin giving Terence a really hard fight, especially at that weight. But remember, Canelo lost to Gennady. Gennady shouldn't even be on this list. He's only on the list because the judges are in Canelo's back pocket. So, that's a whole nother argument. But yeah, that's my take on this, guys. Skill for skill, Terence Crawford might be one of the best of all time, and that's okay. It's okay to accept that, guys. It's fine. Let me know what you think in the comments below, whether you agree or disagree. It doesn't matter. Just join the discussion, subscribe for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you. You are all appreciated.
Zab Judah, who shared the ring with Floyd, praised Crawford as the king of this era. Judah reminded fans that even Canelo Alvarez once hinted Crawford might be better than Mayweather, sparking ongoing debates. For Judah, Crawford's ability to dominate across weight classes shows his completeness. Unlike many fighters, he carried power, composure, and timing with him every time he moved up. Judah's recognition feels like a passing of the torch, acknowledging Floyd ruled his era, but Crawford rules now.
Punch and knock him out, you know what I'm saying? The size would be a factor. None of that was nothing.
How did you score it?
Huh?
How did you score the fight?
I think I gave Canelo about 3 rounds. About
Really?
3 rounds. Yeah, about 3 rounds. How did you score? You score about, sound about fair?
What's that?
Sounds about right?
I had it closer, but there's loads of different scores.
2 rounds.
You gave him 2 rounds.
Yeah, 2 rounds. Yeah, ain't do anything. I gave him a possible 3 rounds. So if I play space, we get him 2 impossible.
Where did you put him in the all-time list? 5-weight world champion, 3-weight undisputed, Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford.
He's number 1 right now. Number 1. This is his generation. This is his timeline. He is the king right now.
Just seen in the press conference, Canelo said that Crawford's better than Mayweather. What do you think?
He's not lying. He fought him. He should know. How can somebody tell somebody that fought both of these guys, he know.
Yeah.
If anybody would know, Canelo would know.
What do you think's next for both?
I don't know.
Too early? You'd like to see a rematch?
Not a rematch. Rematch always sound good. But in a rematch, it'd be the same thing.
Yeah. Cool.
Matter of fact, in a rematch, I'm predicting stoppage earlier.
Yeah.
I think so.
Stop.
My boys are dogs,
Yeah.
trust me.
Thank you.
Crawford himself emphasized that Canelo's opinion matters more than casual debates because Canelo has faced both men. Still, Crawford pointed out the context. Floyd fought Canelo when he was young and raw, while Crawford met him as a seasoned champion at super middleweight. Timing, he argued, changes everything. Beating inexperienced, prime Canelo, Crawford suggested, holds a different weight than Floyd's earlier win. This subtle distinction allowed him to defend his own accomplishment while respecting Floyd's.
He was in the ring with both of us, so a lot of people, they can say what they want, but he's actually been in the ring with both of us. One where he felt like he was at the best, and another where he felt like he was at a disadvantage when he had a rehydration clause and he was younger. So, I don't know, I don't go off of that. Floyd is the best fighter, in his era, and I feel like I'm the best fighter in my era.
One thing that I thought was really interesting about the fight, I always love watching you switch stances as effortlessly as you do. You didn't do that a lot in this fight. You didn't have to. Were you expecting not to have to?
No, I felt like I could have, but why do something when something else is working?
Easy answer.
Jeff Mayweather defended Floyd by stressing context. He explained that when Floyd fought Canelo, he was already past his own physical prime, relying more on reflexes and timing than raw speed. Despite that, he completely neutralized a dangerous young opponent. Jeff argued it's unfair to compare Floyd's Canelo with Crawford's Canelo because the circumstances were entirely different. His comments underline how boxing history often gets oversimplified without full context.
Well, also if we remember, Canelo at that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other 2 judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he still took him, into deep waters. So.
What was Canelo? 21? 23? 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game, obviously.
Yeah, very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah, but
man, that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people. But
how you at the top of your career in your prime? You in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you're at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose? I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Well, so, and that's why Canelo is saying what he's saying.
To
make himself look like he did something great.
Buddy McGirt praised Crawford's tactical brilliance against Canelo. He noted how Crawford dictated every aspect of the fight: pace, distance, and exchanges, while never allowing Canelo to set traps. This reminded him of Floyd's ability to outthink opponents, but with Crawford adding his own twist of aggression and killer instinct. For McGirt, the victory wasn't just a win, but a statement that Crawford belongs among the sport's greatest technicians.
Yes.
Like, what fight were they watching?
Right.
I mean, it's. I don't know, man. I don't know what some of these guys be doing in this game, man. Some people, in situations like that, they should ask them, listen, just turn in your license, bro. Because there's no way in hell the fight was that close.
Right.
I mean, come on, man. It's just, it's not fair. It's not fair. You get a guy like Terence got here and dominate from beginning to end, and then you find out he needed the last 2 rounds to win. That's scary, man.
It is, and you see how you just mentioned scary. Now, a lot of people are saying, buddy, that type of beating, he's not going to want a rematch. But looking at those gold cards and knowing that, hey, you wasn't too far behind, even though, he did mention that, he's better than Mayweather. But, I mean, what's your thoughts? Do you feel like that was such a beating that Canelo wouldn't want a rematch?
No, I think that, in all honesty, personally, I think that Canelo's at that stage in his career right now, that it's a rematch he don't need. He don't need it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? What we saw that night, that's the stage Canelo's at right now. I mean, he's fought everybody, he's did everything. You know what I mean? He passed the torch to the right guy. You know what I mean? He passed the torch to the right guy. You know what I mean? He lost it to Terence fair and square, and he passed the torch. So, if you're gonna have another fight, cool, but you don't need to. You have nothing. He has nothing to prove. He fought Terence and nobody else would.
Analysts pointed out that Mayweather's charisma and ability to market himself made him a global attraction. Fans either tuned in to admire his brilliance or to hope for his downfall, and his undefeated streak amplified the spectacle. Crawford, by contrast, has never been a massive pay-per-view star. Still, many analysts argue this shouldn't diminish his greatness. In fact, some say Crawford's skill set may surpass Floyd's thanks to his stance switching, range control, and ruthless finishing ability. Where Floyd was cautious and defensive, Crawford is calculated yet aggressive, making him equally hard to beat but often more exciting to watch.
Crawford versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. Who wins this fight? I'm going with Terence Crawford, and I don't think that's unpopular or crazy to say. I think most people will agree with me. I understand Floyd Mayweather has a lot of fans out there, but the truth is, as great as Floyd Mayweather is, Terence Crawford is one of one. And I say that because who else has knockout power in both hands, is able to switch stances between orthodox and southpaw so seamlessly while having great footwork? It's not like Terence Crawford is some stationary target or a flat-footed fighter that's going to be chasing Floyd around. Terence Crawford knows how to cut the ring off. He has tremendous ring IQ, and not only is he a great boxer, but he's a great fighter. He'll be able to make it dirty. If he is on the inside with Floyd, that power will carry him far, and I just don't see how Floyd will be able to beat a Terence Crawford. I really don't see it. I understand Floyd's defense is incredible, but he is smaller than Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford would have a significant reach advantage on Floyd Mayweather. I believe Terence Crawford would also be taller than Floyd Mayweather, as well as all the skillful and technical aspects of what I just laid out prior. So I don't understand how anybody could pick Floyd Mayweather to beat Terence Crawford. Styles make fights, and I believe Terence has the style to beat one Floyd Mayweather. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Whether you agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. Join the discussion, subscribe for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you. You are all appreciated.
That wraps up today's video. Stay tuned for more. Until next time.